Hi everyone, I wanted to make this video just because we've had a lot of questions about how is the best way to keep up with all of the assignments for biology or any other course that you might take in your future, whether it's at NC State or another university or college. So I wanted to briefly give a description or a way that you could use our website to your advantage. The great thing about Moodle is that there are lots of cool features that you can use to keep track of assignments. Of course, there's the basic way of going to whatever assignment you know that you're going to need to do and clicking on it. Say I have here, we're going to click on it, and then you can see the best by or when it closed or when it's due. We also sometimes, for the most part, will have it in our title as well, but not every professor will do this. So a lot of students rely on this little sidebar that I kind of scrolled past when we were going down here. Let's see, and it shows you all of the stuff you have due, or at least that's coming up. While this can be great, in our course, we're likely going to have lots of assignments due because we find this is the best way that students learn. So if you're just relying on the side, you might not be able to plan too far in ahead. It just depends on the unit that we're in. Now, I suggest students, whenever they're trying to plan their semester, or trying to make sure that they're keeping up with assignments, the first thing you should do is go to our weekly syllabus. This can be found actually in the full lecture syllabus, but it's all the way at the end. If we go to our weekly syllabus, which is actually over here, pull it up right here. You can see that it has the date of what we're doing, the lecture topic, our textbook chapter. Our textbook is not required for our section, so Dr. Petruli's section. However, it can be helpful, and we do go by the textbook. So we go by these different chapters. So that's what it correlates to. Some students really like having a textbook to kind of check their or just read more about topics. And so if that's you, then they go for it. But again, it is not required for a class. All the material will be presented in the PowerPoint. And online assignments, however we get the information to you, anything on our Moodle page is fair game. Again, we're not going to test based on the textbook. So this is probably the best way to look at your exam dates and anything that might have to do with class schedule. Is not having class, when fall break is, when's the last day of class, when your final is, all of that stuff. So this is going to be, again, the best way to do your major assignment due dates or like your exams. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of other ones that aren't listed on here. And that's when you're going to go to the main page and you can scroll down to each one. I don't recommend it, or you can use your little sidebar where you can see all of these right here. I prefer, as a student, I'm a graduate student, so I can see all of my assignments at once. I like to hit assignments under the activities, and it brings me up a really, really awesome sheet. And it shows you every single assignment that is open right now that will be due. So for 1A, you've got your topic here, what assignment, and you can click directly on it, when it is due, and if you've submitted, and if you have a grade for it. So this can be really, really helpful because it kind of shows you all on one page without all the messiness of the entire course, what is due and when. I really like this, but other students also really like the calendar. And I completely understand because I use a calendar as well. I just don't necessarily use the Moodle calendar. So the calendar can be really, really helpful. It can if you click on it, you can see as a whole what is going to be due, and then you can click on when and where it's due. And then you can also see that you have quizzes here that are going to be due. And then if you have, for the most part, you're going to have stuff due on Friday or Thursday, the best by date, whatever Dr. Petrulli has told you is what you will go with. But this can be really helpful, and you can kind of just look at the month at a glance and see what's going to be due and when. So this can be really, really helpful. I personally like to use Google Calendar. I don't know if there's a way to, oh, you can. So you can export this entire calendar to Google. And that way, if you're a Google Calendar person, you have all of your assignments on one. So this is great. I need to start just exporting versus entering in manually. This saves a lot of time, but this can be really helpful if you like having reminders. So for my phone, that way, if I know I have an assignment, I can set the reminder to remind me at least a day in advance, because I like to get my assignments in at least one day in advance. If there's anything else, I don't know. There are people that still like to use a day planner or some kind of paper planner. That's great. You can also use a virtual planner. However you want to keep track of assignments is up to you. You just have to find the way that fits your lifestyle and your learning style the best. And I think that is it for this little snippet on assignment tracking.